Okay, here we have the bottom plate. Well, the first thing that you cut is the inside of the plate. A couple things here. This point, this point, this point, this point, this point, and the button are higher up than the edge. So these have to be contoured down, and now's the time to do it. Establish your edge on the bottom. Once I've done that, then I cut radially across. The top is done longitudinally. The back is done radially from 90 degrees from the edge. Now, on the top, once you have that bottom cut, again, the top is a little lower than the bottom here is a little lower than the top. The shape is much the same, but yet not the same. The technique of cutting it's the same. Now I've cut this out with my knife here. Now, as I cut the wood with this knife, I'm constantly pressing down, using the wood as a leverage. So in doing that, I'm pressing the wood, pressing the wood, pressing the wood. Every time I take a chip out, I press the wood down. After a while, this knife gets hot. There's an energy transference here going on, plus this pushing of the wood. And with that, in the end, what happens is that the wood's actually denser because it has less volume for the amount of weight. That's important on the bottom. Not so much on the top. On the top you have to be careful because you have these are essentially end grain. Everything's end grain throughout this. So these tubes that go through the plane of the plate here and the top, it's all end grain. So they're just basically small tubes that are piling up on each other, making the curve. But they're very, this is why it's important when you're finishing these that you don't put something on the surface that's going to suck into this wood, because it'll go right into the inside. But that's for another time. The finish is important, and there's a way to do it that I believe, well, this is the way I do it. And it works just fine. Here's one of the instruments. Now, you have to do this, Ricky. Put this back. And you can see how the edge is curved coming off here. Again, it gets back to the sides. After you've cut this out, then you make the sides and you assemble the sides. You put the blocks in, put the sides, you put the linings in. And once you've established that perpendicular side all the way going around, then trace it onto your top, and then that's your edge where the plate's going to touch the wood, and then you can judge where to put your purfling or how to adjust the top to fit where you cut. Anything else here? Again, the light will go through this one, but let's see. You know, like the top, this is about 3 millimeters. I don't know if it goes through all tops or just as a result of the way I do it, but it'll start at red, and as you approach 2.5, it'll start going orange. 2 is yellow, and beyond that is quite thin, a millimeter, which doesn't really appear on the plate. again, the thickness of this is, there's a bar going down the center of this plate, and it starts at the button. So the length of it is from that button to the end here, not from the plate to the end. That's entirely a different. This is going to resonate. A passive resonator, sort of, will have, the top does have an effect because of the post. But the post is there pretty well to stop this from vibrating. It's really not, it's going to create a wave through here, this length, that is not the same as any other place on the plate. So that post is going to stop it from vibrating. As soon as you tighten the strings, it just pulls up, causes a tension on the plate. All these factors have to be balanced in order to, that it doesn't bind when you tighten it up one way or the other. It's all got to go straight. Anyways, can't think of anything else here. The sides, again, the sides. You know, you have to make these wedge sides bigger in the center here. I don't think you can see it. Bigger in the center, thinner and thinner. Now the thin ones, when you bend them, bend nice and straight. But that corner right there, that bigger wedge at the top is going to bow out. So the top is actually bigger than the bottom because of this effect on the sides. Now you got to keep that in mind. That's why you have to build this up first with the sides, and then trace it onto the top. Now, I can tell you that Stainer, I've got a book that was given to me by the Austrian government, let's put it that way. It was it had 100 pictures of 100 authenticated Stainers in it. And I was given that in the 90s. I used it very much so. So if you can get yourself either a model or a picture of a Stainer, I mean, best to find the best model you can and try to copy it. I don't know what else to say. I think I'll leave it at that, and I'll deal with the neck on my next video. Thanks for watching.